women bags. I want a man's gift. Amen. Amen. Y'all can have that. Amen. When y'all get a man gift, y'all call my number then. Good. Yeah. I'd be embarrassed picking up one of them things. Y'all ought to give it back. That was the shit. Real men to give it back. Them flower bags, pink. Hold up one of the bags. Let me see the bag. Hold on. They scared to hold them up. Now see what all the flowers. They ain't no real man bag. Hey, I ought to be ashamed. I ought to get that thing to me. Let me get it to my wife. Put some pressure on it. Amen. Well, we're back. Welcome back. And so let's pick up where we left off at. The groups, were they helpful? They're helpful? Yeah, they're helpful. Give me some feedback. Just let's take 5 minutes. Just give some feedback. Each group. Let me somebody represent the group or something.
When I go speak to somebody, when I go out and I can preach or I can minister to somebody or I can help out a fellow, Christian in need, or even go out and help somebody that's not in need, show them the love of Christ, I'd rather go home and be alone.
Okay, and that's your area of concern where you need some personal help. But all right, good. Appreciate that transparency. Appreciate that. Anybody else want to share? Over here.
I actually never said a word in our meeting because I was taken back by the amount of need that there is in our congregation that I didn't even know there was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm remiss for not being more available.
Yeah. So your takeaway was not really knowing that all those needs were there. Yeah, ain't that something? And then let me make a remark right there, because when it comes to the transparency piece, how men have to expose themselves to other men, we don't like to do it. The reason that we die early is because we don't like exposure. Because exposure for us means health-wise, going to the doctor. And you know what I mean? Yeah, y'all know the position. We don't like it. We don't like nothing going in places that, you know what I mean? and because of the lack of exposure, we hurt, we feel something. There may be something there, but the risk of exposing ourselves is greater than the risk of dying. So we die. Women don't care. They just go, what, every year? Something like that? Twice a year? You see? And that is emblematic of how we are as men. You never know until you really find out. You got to get close enough to find out. But that's a good point. And that's why this conference, Brother Case, is really, really important. I'm glad that God gave you the vision, the impetus to do this, because this is really important. You can save life by exposing yourself early. Because if you had known that you had that issue, the doctor would tell you real quick, you should have came up. We could have prevented this. If you had only said something to me, you had come in here when you first started hurting, you first felt that pain, whatever that was, you could have came. We could have given you some help. Good point. Excellent point. And maybe the best point here today. I didn't know that we had so many issues. How can you have this much hurt? These many issues in the church, the problem. These many problems, and nobody really not know. How's that possible? And yet we're the body. We're connected to each other. But how can I say to the, how can we be connected? How can you be attached to me and I not know you're hurt? When one member hurt, what do we have, a fragmented body? Are we that detached? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that you're going through all of that and I never knew. See, the jarring part is when somebody commits suicide. You know what, he committed suicide? What was going on? Did we see the signs? And why didn't he say anything? Because of the atmosphere that we create. Yeah. Come on, somebody.
One thing that we saw, Brother Daniels, is that we don't fellowship the way we used to. So a lot of times we don't know each other because we don't fellowship the way that we used to. Fellowship is a dying art in the church. And then we don't know each other. The church fills up from the back to the front now instead of the front to the back. We're trying to get in and get out and trying to have microwave church and we end up not having relationships.
Yeah, that's this ministry right here. Ministry. I'm glad y'all gave us some latitude. The false notion of fellowship. You know, psalmist says, David said, behold how good and pleasant it is when brethren what? He didn't say come to church. Dwell together. That sends a signal of a close-knit, intimate, personal tie between folk. Brothers dwell together, right? You know the idiosyncrasies of your brother because y'all slept in the same bed. You know what I mean? He wet the bed at night. He snore, that kind of thing. Because you know what that is because y'all real close. You see, we have substituted assembly for fellowship. And we call them the same thing. And they're not. Those that believe were together had all things in common. Did eat their meat with singleness of heart from house to house. They get intimate at the house, not really at the church. First century church had a house-to-house relationship. Because when I said in your house, I see stuff too at your house. I saw the liquor bottle. I saw the Budweiser, you see. You can see some stuff at the house that you ain't gonna see at it. You just ain't gonna see it. You ain't gonna see a hurting wife. You ain't gonna see an unkept home. You ain't gonna see an empty refrigerator at the church. But when you go to the house, you start seeing stuff that you never would see at the church. Matter of fact, we tuck it in. Amen. Come on.
And on that point, one of the things in his point, one of the things that I have seen in the church is most of the time we come looking for what the church can give us rather than how we come to serve.
Right.
And so then we get to the church and it's really easy to not recognize the hurt that's sitting on right next to us in the pew.
Yeah.
Because we're so caught up in our own issues.
Yeah.
It's about us. But I wanted to say something you said something earlier that was absolutely powerful, and the young brother said something and follow up on the best man deal. And you said, this is in us. God has given us these things. And the brother said, well, I don't know that we can do all of them at one time. But the key, you said something, it's already in us. And that sin robs us of the ability to remember and know that we've got all of this in us. And so when I talk to men and young boys and men across this community, the one thing, you said it again, is the dominion that has been robbed from men in the community to understand you really have the power to transform your home and your community, but you don't believe that you do.
Right.
Again, going back to what you talked about, because now we don't have those men, those fathers in the community, those brothers that are in here, that'll go out there tomorrow and Monday and begin to pour into our young brothers and sisters the way reaching them where they are, not where we want them to be.
That's powerful. That's absolutely powerful. Now what he said was, it's powerful. See, we have been deceived in believing that we don't have what we do have. Y'all know Satan is a liar. He was a liar he changed his text. So his job is just to lie. You can take that a lot of ways. That's deception, that's bamboozling, whatever you want to call it. So He told Eve, you don't have something that you really have. And if you want it, do that. But she already had it. She was already like God. She had everything that she needed. You see what I'm saying? So what Satan does to us is rob us of our potential, rob us of our glory, our power that we really do have. Can I give a scenario? Because I really want to kind of hang out right there, because there's some older men in here. Been there, done that, t-shirt, mug, right? Got it all. What happens is we defeat ourselves and we rob ourselves because the ones who made the mistakes, who went over and fought the battles, don't come back and talk about the victory. And to talk about a victory, you got to also talk about the war and the casualties of the war. We don't want to talk about that part. So you have sometimes a generation of young people who never got poured into. Y'all remember, I think we talked about this yesterday, but the case, they had the riots over there in North Carolina, Charlotte. First night somebody got killed over there. Most of the young people took to the streets and they started, throwing garbage cans through the windows, went to the hotel and started tearing up stuff. That was night one. Night number two, cameras were there, ABC, CNN, all of them. They went out there because they had anticipated the same thing or worse the next night. Stuff was going to turn upside down. People going to set stuff on fire. But it didn't happen. Do y'all know why it didn't happen? Does anybody know? What happened night two? It was peaceful second night. Anybody know why?
Probably some wisdom, sure.
Older men. Older men went out there and stood between the police was there and stood between the crowd. Mainly young men who was ready to turn it up, right? Tear it up, right? They stood between and said, not tonight. We're not going to tear up anything. We're going to be civilized. If y'all want to march, go ahead and march. And they look just like them. And y'all ain't going to hurt our young people either. They're going to be free to protest. They're going to be out here. We're going to stay out here until they get ready to go home. Not one single solitary incident, not one person went to jail night two. Why? Men stood up. He said, it ain't going to happen. The young people didn't expect for men to come out and stand up. That makes the difference. And it's important for those who've been there, done that, who've seen it all, who made mistakes. So your mistake becomes your ministry. Now, why are you sitting on your ministry? What's your mistake? Show me your mistake. I'll show you your ministry. Because whatever you did wrong, you can help somebody do what? We got walking ministries in the church. They don't have to be on the board. They don't have to be on the bulletin. You yourself personally have a ministry. And all you got to do is pour what you have into somebody else. And the reason that you survived your mistakes, the reason that you survived, you made it through, and you're still standing is because God wanted you to do something for somebody else. The question is, why aren't you doing it? See, I told you my mistake. That's become my what? A ministry. I attract what I am. You come to our church, you see a whole lot of young men, younger men that are just like me. Made mistakes, been to prison, got back out, back home, get married now, start a family, working in ministry. My parking lot ministry. He did 10 years fair time. Came out, started a business. One of the most faithful members of the church. Right? Why? My mistake became my what? All these people out here making mistakes right now because they maybe have not heard of your ministry. And I don't want to stay there too long, but I'm just making a point right here. Because God calls us to survive like Samson. He raised us up for a time like this. We cannot squander the opportunity that we have like Samson did, because he was so busy trying to gratify his own flesh that he missed his purpose. He ran after women, his own desire, self-gratification, till he can't be true to his purpose. Amen. I feel like I want to preach right here, but I can't preach. It's a workshop. It's a workshop. It's a workshop. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Come on, let me hear from somebody else. Come on. Come on.
You said, that which we don't transform, we transmit. And about, I believe it was 10 years ago, Brother Crenshaw started talking to us about transformation, transition, transcendence. You have to transform that you might transition, because the transformation causes a change that you might transcend even more than what you expect. So I just appreciate the fact that you help me see that what we don't transform, which we're supposed to do anyway, it's an absolute requirement, will transmit. So I don't want to.
Yeah. And I appreciate my man right here, because he said he'll withdraw. Okay, now, I don't know if you don't have no kids, not yet. Oh, God bless you, man. Bless your heart. Yeah. You have to be careful, because.
That's right.
You see? When Jesus was talking to the Pharisee, he said, you're your dad, your father. Y'all lie just like him. You see, I'm saying this in a positive way, because the fruit don't fall too far from them. However your son sees you, you're going to walk in your footsteps. As a matter of fact, when you get by 2, you're going to start putting on your shoes. Walk through the house. Because the only thing he has to model after is what he sees. In order for him to be fully adjusted and gain normalcy, right? Whatever that is, right? He's got to see you do it. Because if he don't see you do it, he don't know what it is. Just say, come on, somebody else.
How do you deal with this is helping me. How do you deal with someone that, and this is my story, my father wasn't there, but I've had different father figures. But I feel like, going back to, I think, 2 or 3 slides, the difference between self-realization and self-actualization.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I'm trying to be like, in other words, I don't know myself clearly.
Right.
So I have Pops, Brother Crenshaw.
Yeah.
I have other men, Leslie, George Good from Jamaica, but Dwayne Case, how do you work through actualizing yourself, who God has called you to be versus?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because you can't actualize what you don't realize. You can't actualize what you don't realize. The reason that God made us in his image is because God knew that we needed to look at perfection in order to be our best. You know what I'm saying? We need something to look at, because if we don't have anything to look at, we'll make it up. You see, we'll make it up. And it's dangerous to make up something. So you, like me, because I did not have my father, I had to set my sights on, number one, God, Jesus Christ, and then men, you just pick and choose. Because there are no perfect men. You just take the best of what you can and incorporate that into your life and become the best man that you can by the help of God. Steps of a good man are what? They're ordered by God. So that's the way you do it. It's a composite, see? It's a composite. And when men come together in a church, in a setting like this, that's when you get the best of men. You bring it together. You also get the worst of men, but you work on it. That's what it's all about. You work on it, because there is no perfection. There is no perfect man. There's not a man right here that has not made a mistake. But watch this. Your power comes out of your mistake. That's where your testimony comes from. And your testimony becomes a very powerful thing. And what Satan want to do is shut down and suppress your testimony. Because you want people to believe that everything is good with you when it ain't. The power, Paul says, when I'm weak, that's when I'm strong. I'm boasting about my weaknesses, right? Because when I do that, I give God a chance to shine his power on me, right? We're so afraid of telling people about our mistakes that we miss our own power. Because you and God can't be powerful at the same time. You can pretend to be powerful and be weak, or you can be weak and then get power from God. But it ain't gonna work both ways. Amen, somebody. That's some good stuff right there. That's some good. Y'all don't know what I said. I'm preaching. Y'all don't even know it. That's powerful. So when you get away from being afraid and intimidated by what mistakes you made, God is not giving us the spirit of what? Fear, but of what? Power, love, and of what? See, when you pretend to be something that you ain't, you're not sound-minded. You really lost your mind. But when you keep it real with yourself and then God, that's when you get power. And you ain't scared of nothing. It is what it is. Amen. All right? In the back.
A couple of words. Transparency is freedom. Transparency is freedom. When you allow yourself to be transparent,
Yes, sir.
you can be free.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the Lord. You can be
Yeah.
free. And that's no power. I don't need that. I got power. That's no power. When we realize that we can be transparent, that is stop hiding, man. Stop being hypocrite.
Yeah.
We're free.
Yeah.
The word is living and serve the Lord according to the purpose He's given us.
Yeah. Anybody remember Mephibosheth?
Yeah.
Anybody remember Mephibosheth? Y'all anybody raise your hand if you know Mephibosheth. If you don't know him, put your hand up. Okay, all right. Mephibosheth. Jonathan's son, Saul's grandson. Lost his leg at 5. He was handicapped. And when David came into the kingdom, he said, is there anybody left for the household of Saul that I might show the kindness of God to? In other words, I got some grace. I want to show some grace to somebody, right? And then somebody say, yeah, he got a son. Stephen said, he got a son. He live in Lodabar, right? Go get him from him. So I'm going to get him, but he can't walk. He crippled. He been crippled for a long time. Go get him. When he got Mephibosheth, brought him in there. He probably had told him in there, put him in from there. And he said, listen, I'm going to show some kindness to you. I'm going to give you some power. I'm going to restore everything that you lost. You know what Mephibosheth said? Anybody remember? He said, why are you showing this kindness to me? It ain't nothing but a dog. I'm a dead dog. That's how he saw himself. Because he was what? Crippled. But David took it, put him at a table. Y'all see this now?
Yeah.
Put him at a table, and he said, all you need to do is sit here at this table. I'm going to restore everything that you lost. I'm giving you your power back. It's not your power. I'm restoring your power. And all you have to do is sit at my table and eat bread. I'm giving you interest on everything that you lost. But when Mephibosheth sat at the table, you couldn't tell he was crippled. Because he sat behind the... And when you sit behind the table, you don't see. Y'all don't see it. When you admit your weakness and where you are and how frail you are and the issues that you have, that's when you get your what? Your power. You can't walk up to the king and say, I got it all together. The king already know you ain't got it together. So why you come to church playing like this? Pretending like you don't have issues. Pretending like you don't lust. You don't have an issue with women. That you have personal fears. That you are intimidated as a man. That you got a jealous streak, that you wish you had power that you don't have. Why are you pretending like you got it together? Everybody know you don't have it together. I don't mean to preach. I just don't mean to preach. Everybody know you fighting and grappling for power because there's something wrong in your personal life. And if you don't have power at home, you're going to come to the church and try to get it the best way you can. Everybody already know that. If you humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. But if you climb up there yourself, guess what? The power He admits that he's weak, but he's willing to be strong. And that's it. And we have a generation of young men out there right now that don't know how to do it because the older heads ain't telling them nothing. They're making the same mistakes. Amen. Boy, that mercy stuff get good right here, man. Woo, it get good. All right, let's go. I know we got some other stuff to do. We was looking at Samson. We see what a bad man is. We know what a good man is. And here is Samson's problem. Go to Judges chapter 1 for a minute. Judges 1. And I think I want 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Because Samson was not born in a vacuum. There was something there before Samson even got there. There was some circumstance that God was trying to address. That's why he called Samson in the first place, right? Yeah. And listen, you ain't got to be perfect to have a call. One more time, Judges 1, verse 1 and verse number 2. You don't have to be perfect to have a call. You could be flawed and still have a call on your life. Amen. And for everybody, and y'all might need to know this, write it down if you need. For everybody that's gifted, they also have a struggle. But don't allow your struggle to negate your gift. And some of us won't step up with that gift because we're afraid to be exposed about our struggle. Amen. God will give you both. The reason that Jacob had a limp, he was gifted because God wanted to remind him, for every good step that you take, there's another weak one coming right behind it. For every good one you take, there's one that needs grace right behind it. You see what I'm saying? As powerful as you are, if you're still reminded that you still need grace, you're going to be all right. After all, you get where you need to be, but you just got a limp on your way there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, have mercy. Ooh, come on. Come on, let's read this Bible.
Now, after the death of Joshua,
it
came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, who shall be the first to go up for us against the Canaanites?
Who gonna get us out of this predicament? All the real men dead. Joshua, the one that circumcised us, our model, he dead. Who gonna do this for us now? Read.
And the Lord said, Judah shall go up.
Judah gonna go up. Read.
Indeed, I have delivered the land into his hand. So Judah said to Simeon, his brother, come up with me to my allotted territory, that we may fight against the Canaanites.
Stop right there. Those are the conditions. Here's Samson with a call, right? Samson got a call on his life. Read about his call when you get over there to Judges chapter number 13. God called him. You're going to be a Nazarite. You're going to deliver people. Your purpose is in me, and your purpose is to deliver. Right? But you got to keep yourself straight in order to deliver. Right? Don't touch what? And what? Or the razor. Wine, razor. Stay away from everything that's unclean, and then you'll have power. Watch this. Watch Samson. Samson got a call on his life. But there are three things that plague Samson. Number one is desire. Everybody say desire. That's unfulfilled need. Predisposed to or tendencies fleshly. 1 John 2:5, lust of the flesh, pride of life, and the lust of the eye, right? Ephesians 2:1-3, read that when you get a chance. Number two, distraction. Everybody say distraction. Things, people, and scenarios and problems that lure from purpose. Sinful seduction and allurement. That's a distraction. Number three, departure. Everybody say departure. The mental, physical, social, and spiritual disengagement of one's purpose. Now, y'all watch these three things, right? Desire, distraction, and departure. Watch Samson. Let's see, after that, okay, we got that. Here's the first one. Judges 14:1-7. And Samson went what? Down to Timnath and saw what? Woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now, I'm going to deal with it, but not dwell on it. Because, you know, when it comes to men, if you look at men through history, the downfall of a man is usually Starting with Adam. Devil couldn't get Adam. But I'm gonna get something that you desire, that you love, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna use it. Because toe to toe, the devil couldn't do nothing with Adam. Because Adam looked just like God. That's why he can walk through the jungle, the lions, bears, all that. They just sit down somewhere. You're going to be a, you know what I mean? Just name the animal because he got the glory of God on him. But what God did, what the Satan did was use a what? Oh, I wish I had time. I wish I had time. He saw one of the daughters of Philistine. That's desire. All he did was see her. You don't know what she all about? All he did was what? Y'all know y'all physical? Y'all know that?
Yes, sir.
Y'all like what you see, not what you know. See, you suspend what you know in order to get what you. Oh, I wish I had a real man's compass up in here. Woo! Now you know this ain't gonna be good. This can't end well. You know you putting everything on the line. You know that this is risky, but what you see. He came up, told his daddy and his mom, confronted both of them. I have what? I don't know her. Doc, I don't know her. All I can tell you, she's a dime. That's all I can tell you. I wish we were keeping it real right here. All I can tell you is she bad. She bad. Told his father, well, I've seen a woman, Tim, now, the daughter of the Philistine, which is our enemies. I know they bad people, but, you know, no good, but so good. No good, but so good. Now, therefore, get her for me to wife. Now watch distraction, right? His father and his mother said unto him, well, why don't you just get a clean girl? A woman of the daughters of my brethren among all my people that thou take for a wife. Why you go get one of these these fleshly women? Because that's what you have for the flesh. I know it's fleshly, son. But why are you going to get a church girl? And Samson said to his father, I don't care. Because he what? He's already had a conversation with her. Looked into her eyes. Come on, brothers. Come on, brothers. Come on, brothers. Come on, brothers. And some of y'all tuning out because maybe, you know, but you're a man. Can I get an amen right here? She pleases me well. He went on and on. Y'all see that? But his father and his mother knew not that it was from the Lord, that he saw occasion against the Philistines. For at that time, the Philistines had what? God was going to use, watch this, and don't get this twisted. God was going to use his weakness to get some power out of it. Mom and daddy don't even know. In other words, he's going to make mistakes. But through his mistakes, somebody else going to be delivered. You see. You can't give up on your call. I don't care how many mistakes you make. You still have to be dead set on your purpose in God, right? Because God will work some stuff out. Your mistake becomes your what? Your ministry. Watch this. Then Samson went down, and his father and his mother to Timnath, and they came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion did what? What's his mistake in 5? What's his mistake in 5? He went through the vineyards. What God told him not to do? Stay away from it. He trying to see how close he can get to the fire. And without being. Because if that stuff's so bad, you want to stay get way back, right? But he getting close. He's skirting it, right? He's flirting, right? And behold, the young lion did what? And y'all see the young lion right there? For your adversary, the devil, is like what? You got to understand. Anything that you get close to that's not like God, you're risking your power, your glory. You see, because the lion want to take your crown. See, the lion want to take your glory. Why? And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would rent a kid, and he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or his mother what he had. What? He held on to his testimony. He didn't tell nobody. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she what? He's departed from his purpose. Here he is again, 14:89. And after some time, he returned to do what? Take her. And he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. What's going on right there?
Touching dead things.
He touching dead things. God says, stay away from everything that's but the honey is inside of the dead thing. Go everybody want some honey. Oh, Jesus. I went, boy, man, you call me back when you get a real compliment. Everybody wants some honey. But we don't realize that sometimes we got to go through the dead thing to get the honey, to get the sweet out. His desire for the sweet thing caused him to override his purpose. If you had called him, say, Samson, why are you touching that? You know God told you. I don't care. It's about what's sweet. Amen. Because you know, honey, everybody wants some honey because honey gratifies. I got some sugar in my coffee right here. Y'all didn't have the kind of sugar I want, but you know what I did in y'all kitchen? I was down there by myself. You know what I did? I found it. This ain't even my church. I went back there in the back, I started looking around, started opening stuff. This ain't even my church. But I wanted some sweet stuff. So I went over there and I saw a canister. This canister said sugar. So I used the ladle and poured it in here because it wasn't provided to me. And this ain't even my church. I wanted the sugar so bad. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Watch this. He took thereof. In his what? He couldn't get it without touching the dead thing. He violated his covenant with God. That's where his power coming from. And he went on eating. He came to his father and his mother. He did what? He's content. He passing it on to his family. His mom and daddy going through stuff because of him. He robbing them of their power. Because he bringing that junk, that dysfunctionalism, that drama in the house. Anybody got some children in here? Amen. Y'all see it? And they did eat. But he still ain't say nothing. Why didn't he say anything? Because he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. He knows it's wrong, and he's still doing it. Not only is he risking his own power, his own life, his own future, but he's risking the future, the power, and the life of somebody else. Ain't that how sin do? Ain't that how sin go? Watch this now. I'm almost done here. Then Samson went Samson to Gaza, and he saw there what? Did he know her? Did he just see her? Somebody said, the Lord is my shepherd. I see what I want. There he is. The downfall of many men is what they see. That's a man sin. Woman sin is emotional. Don't touch it. If somebody would talk to her, understand her, identify, and listen. Emotion. Somebody connected emotionally. Cried with me. Prayed with me. That's why preachers, any preachers in there? All right. Amen. That's why we don't counsel folk by ourselves, especially women when they're going through. That's where don't tell nobody this for me. That's where preachers get in trouble at. Because we see vulnerable, weak women. And they connect to us in ways emotionally that we don't even understand. And then we try to help them by not helping them. Y'all missed that. I'm supposed to. Amen. Affairs don't begin in the bedroom. They begin with a conversation that's had too long. I wish we had the kind of transparency. But preacher, yeah, I did it. I'm here to tell you. We got 1 or 2 or 3 people out there right now that say, you know what, we went through it. I connected with another woman. It wasn't nothing emotional for me. It was just physical for me. I had strength. I gave it to her, and that was it. She the one got connected. King Lemuel, his mama taught him, said, boy, don't give your strength to women. Know your ways to that which destroy kings. Ooh, Jesus. It's quiet out there this afternoon. It's quiet. I'm going to get y'all out of here. I'm getting y'all out of here. He saw a harlot. Pleasure without commitment. Somebody say pleasure without commitment. Here's pornography. Here is affairs. Here's where the side chicks come in. See? Old school. Me and Mrs. John. We got a thing going on. We meet every day at the same cafe. 6:30. And no one knows. Amen. If loving you is, because if being right means being without you, I'd rather be wrong. Oh man. It was told the guys, I said, Samson has come here. And in comparison, his enemies. Remember the line before? It's people now. They waiting for him. We know what he like now. We seen his pattern. We know he like our women. Back then, y'all woke back there in the back? He like our women. Now they setting him up. They can pass him and lay wait for him all night at the gate of the city, and we're what? Quiet all night. We gonna catch him up. Don't get what? Caught up. Y'all heard the promotion, right? Don't get what? Don't get caught up. Saying, in the morning when it is day, we shall what? We'll kill him. We know what his proclivity is. The devil been watching it. It's a matter of time before he get caught. See, he think it's okay as long as he don't get caught. He don't know. It's not about getting caught. It's about having that mindset. Because even if you don't get caught this time, you're going to try to what? And Samson later what? And he arose at what? Took the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts and went away with them, bar and all. And put them upon his shoulders and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. Y'all see what he's using his strength to do? He's supposed to be delivering. He keep getting caught up. He dealing with stuff he ain't got no business what. He going to jail for no reason. He losing his job for no reason. He losing friends for no reason. He's negating his power for some flesh. Y'all don't see it? All right, let me go home. Here he is again. And it came to pass afterwards that he what? In the valley of Sorek, whose name was what? That's his desire, distraction. And the Lord's of the Philistine came up unto her and said unto her, entice him, let's find out where his power is, and by what means we may prevail against him or take his power, that we may bind him to afflict him. And we gave thee, and we will give to thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver. Y'all see that? Watch his departure from his calling. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee. She said, Sam. Call him Sam. Tell me where your power is. And wherewith that thou mightest be bound. Watch this. Ain't that bold right there? Ain't that bold? Y'all think about this. If a woman come to you and say, she asking you for the keys to your power, you got to be crazy. You have to be deranged to turn over your power to somebody else that don't love you. My brother right here, I appreciate you. I'm making him a star student because he know the songs and everything. And see, this is what we need right here. Now the rest of y'all won't act like y'all don't know what we're talking about. It was the sugar. Just the taste that caused him to even entertain giving up his power. You married? Yeah, I'm married. How many kids you got? 3. Where you live? Where you work at? Texas. What's your phone number? We're just gonna text each other. Is that good? Y'all ain't helping me. I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna talk because that's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to talk anywhere. I'm gonna sit down somewhere. Girl, I'll pay you, girl, to find out for us. Because we can't deal with him. He's too strong for us. But we know what he like. You know what Satan did in the beginning? I can't get to Adam, but if I can use you, I'll get to him. Y'all know General Petraeus? Man, fought so many battles over there in the Middle East, went to war many times. A great general, great general, great general, great general. No stuff too. Strong man, command thousands. Right? How you gonna be that strong and let a woman Saddam couldn't do nothing with you. Muhammad never could. But your secretary? You mean you got to take your medals off, your pins off, retire your uniform? Not because you lost a battle on the battlefield, but because you shared your power with a woman. And now you got to walk in infamy for the rest of your life. Bill Clinton. Clinton. Wait a minute now. You brought the economy back in, okay. But Monica, come on up here. Come on. Ooh, that's my partner right there. Yeah, my partner right there. Blue dress right there. He lied. But then he says, where the person made the Lord Philistine brought her 7 Greek with, and she bound him with them, and she trying to, now there were men lying in wait abiding with her in the chamber. He said unto the Philistine, the Philistine be upon thee, Samson, and he break the whips with the thread as toe is broken when it is touched by fire. So his strength was what? Not known, right? I don't know where I got that from, right? And Delilah said to him, tell me, I pray thee, where in that great strength lied, and whether I might be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said, if you're bound, no, that's the same one, I'm sorry about that. All right, and I got to the end. All right, that's what I meant right there, but in case I had some stuff. But you know, she told him, if you cut the what? Y'all read your Bible? Then you'll take my what? Was his power really in his hair? Where was it? Where? Covenant. It was in his covenant, which was symbolic of his hair. When you cut away from your covenant, that's when you lose your what? Your power. Right? Desire. What else? Departure. And what? Distraction and then departure. Those are the patterns of all of our falls. You have to be careful about your desire. And there's nothing wrong with having desire, but you can have ungodly what? Your desire can become your. Men are supposed to love women. Now, if you don't, you got another problem, right? But your desire should not become your what? Because your distraction then becomes your departure. Let not a man say when he is tempted, I'm tempted of God. For God cannot tempt a man, neither can he be tempted of man. For every man is tempted when he is what? Drawn away of his own what? Where's lust? On the inside. There's a hook that we have. We're not just talking about sex now, but we are talking about sex. Y'all say amen if y'all still don't know. We have a hook. Satan knows once he finds out what that hook is, he'll latch onto the hook and then he can draw us in. Of his own lust and enticed. But when his enticement, his desire is fulfilled, right? It bringeth forth what? Death. And death, when it is finished, bring forth what? Lust, when it is finished, bring forth death, right? Remember the baby that David had with Bathsheba? Anybody know what that was? Did the baby live or did the baby die? The baby died. Because God would not allow him to enjoy the fruits of his pleasure. That's why the baby died. There is no good end to sin. You need to know what your weakness is so that you can get some accountability partners. And that's why it's good for us to be in twos, right? Because if you get in twos, right, you look out for me and I look out for you. Let me stand up for a second. Let me do this and then we'll shift. I don't know how much time I got there. Come on, Kate, stand up here with me. All right, stand up here this way. Everybody can see him? I want y'all to face each other first and foremost. There are 3 positions that we need to always maintain as men. 3 positions. Everybody say 3 positions. That's face to face. And when you're face to face, you're forced to look into each other's eyes. Right? Because that is the posture of transparency. Right? You sharing with him, he's sharing with you. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Let me tell you who I am and what I go through and what I deal with and what my weaknesses are. Transparency. It's an exchange, right? Number 1, we all need to be transparent with somebody. Everybody say amen. Amen. I don't know if you have an accountability partner, but if you don't have one, you really, really need one. Right? And we have to do this also in the body of Christ. Everybody at least need to have one accountability partner, because you talk to each other, right? Look at each other in the eye. Ain't nothing going on right there. You see, but notice now, notice the posture right here. It's hard for them to continue to look in each other's eyes.
That's right.
Amen. Ain't it hard? Right? Even right now. Y'all rather look at me than look at each other. Amen. Because we don't like it. It's too honest. And then we worried about what is he thinking? I'm straight, but I don't know what's going on. And why are you looking at me like that? Come on, somebody. But that's problematic for us, because we really need to have somebody to look us in the eye. One of the sure signs of respect is when you look somebody in the... They're struggling up here right now. Amen. So we're going to get them off the hook. Posture number 2. Y'all side by side, right? Shoulder to shoulder. You can't have shoulder to shoulder. You can't work together until you face each other. Eye to eye leads to shoulder to shoulder. When you're shoulder to shoulder, you can work together. And the reason that sometimes, even in the church, we don't work together is because we don't have eye to eye. I can't work with nobody that I don't trust. I ain't look you in your eye. I don't know what you all about. What you up to? What you trying to do? What's your motive? You see, unless you have eye to eye fellowship, true intimacy with brothers and sisters in Christ, you can't have shoulder to shoulder, because you become suspicious. And it's hard for us to work together to build our community if we're suspicious. You in it for you. Why have we become so cynical of each other? And where's the natural bond that we ought to have with each other? We're missing it because we don't have. But once we got that, this ain't no problem. And then we can go from here, turn around, face me, back to back. Now you can fight. That's the fighting posture right there. Y'all sing 300, right? Because if I'm trying to kill Case, if I'm trying to hurt Case, injure Case, right? I can, because there's a side of him that is exposed. But if he have somebody watching this, ain't no way I can get to him without his partner. His partner ain't offending him or nothing like that. But I'm trying. See, now his partner can watch his what? And ain't no way I can get to his back because he got a partner here. He need a better partner because his partner ain't helping him. I done stabbed him, I done hit him upside the head. Ain't his partner just looking at him going, don't do what you're going to do. You see what I'm saying? Right? But we got to have one another's back. See, this my man. You ain't gonna just come up on my man like that. And I'm obligated to look out for the needs, the vulnerabilities of my brother. Because I can't put my life on the line until I know you. Because I will only defend what has value to me. And if my brother ain't got no value, I ain't standing up for him. You see? So he can watch Case back, Case can watch his back, because the same thing can happen to him. So when he hurt, he going through something, he can talk to him, and they can pray about it. I got your back. Amen. If you were ever addicted to drugs, you went to a program, you get what's called a what? Sponsor. And your sponsor watch your back. You call them when you need them. They stand in the gap for you, right? This is the system that God has given us. And this is the system that we must implement in the body of Christ. Because if we don't, we're going to die one by one. Because after all, the devil is MO is to divide. Because you by yourself, you ain't going to make it. But when you partner up with somebody, you can make it. I'm dropping the mic right here. Samson don't have a partner. He keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Abdicated his calling, his purpose with God. He don't care nothing about that. Because he is in hot pursuit for the flesh. And the flesh keep getting, he lost his eyesight, he lost his vision. He got blinded, and then he had to grind. Seeing blinds. Amen. You lose your vision. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you could be. You can't even see the future. It blinds, it binds, your hands are tied. Why can't you do anything about the situation? Because I'm in it. It's hard for me to help you with something if I'm stuck in it too. And then you have to grind. You have to work extra hard, like Cain, just to get the minimum. All because of what? Sin. But there's redemption in it because God will give you power. God will restore you. Sometimes you have to be blind in order to see. That was deep. Yeah. Because you're trying to see yourself, and when you try to see yourself instead of seeing the way God sees, you're blind. But if you rely on God's vision for you, that's when you can see. And whatever your towers are, whatever you need to pull down, you can pull it down, and you can have societal or social redemption as well as spiritual redemption. Amen, somebody? All right, I'm going to quit right there. Appreciate y'all. Let's give these two men a love and power right here.